Hello, this is Mad Cat, and today I just want to bitch about the shelter because, oh god, I'm still not getting any sleep. And while I was awake last night trying to sleep, listening to these yahoos talk endlessly about shit and listening to the radio and letting their cell phones go off, I was thinking about the church service. And, I've been attending church service, and, I'm an atheist going to church, but it's been actually quite an education in all honesty, because I haven't gone to church since I was like a kid, and it's a much different experience. But it's like every time they start the church service, they're like, if you have a cell phone, be sure to put it on vibrate, and if you have a phone call, take it outside, and if your neighbor is talking to you, then tell him to be quiet because you're listening to God. Go through all of these things about having respect for the people up there giving a sermon. Okay, fine, I can easily do that. I give respect. But it's like once the church service ends, that's when their respect ends. Like, they expect you to give them respect because they're in a position of authority, but they don't need to give respect back. So when I'm like in my cot trying to sleep, they're talking up a storm, laughing as loud as they can. They're fucking hypocrites. And, it's like there are some Christians I do like. My friend here, he's one of the good ones, I think. Because, his generosity doesn't begin or end with the church. It's just who he is. But it's like with these people, they're providing me a place to live, they're providing me food to eat, and I'm thankful for that. But it's like, I also need my sleep, man. And I can understand the other inmates, as I call them, because we're all prisoners in this system. But, I can understand them being rude motherfuckers, because, well, they just have no civility. But the people in charge, I hold to a higher standard, in all honesty. And they're just not meeting it. And it's just so fucking ridiculous to me that they demand absolute respect. Why? Because they're in a position of authority, because they're people of God. If you're going to be a true Christian, then the respect that you demand people give you is the same respect that you give to other people. Christ said it himself, treat people the way you want to be treated. And if you want to be a rude motherfucker, then you can't be surprised when I'm a rude motherfucker to you. If you're going to treat me like shit, I'm going to treat you like shit. Not me personally, but just people in general. Because, I do treat people how I want to be treated, and I often don't get treated that way, but I don't give a shit. I'll treat people how I want. If I want to be a nice motherfucker, I'm going to be a nice motherfucker, But and I wish more Christians understood this concept, that if you want people to treat you kindly, then you've got to treat them kindly first. And if they don't treat you kindly, then okay, you can treat them like shit. But don't still demand that they treat you well. So I'm running on fumes these days. I maybe get like 3-4 hours of sleep at most. And you can start seeing the bags under my eyes here. I'm just like sleep deprived. And I still got to go work. I was having an issue with my work. I won't give any details, but I'll basically say they wanted me to design a practice test of a standardized test that's like, this company that makes the standardized test hires people to make the test. Like, they pay them lots of money to make this test. It's supposed to be one of the hardest tests you're supposed to take, and they want me to recreate it as a practice test within 2 weeks. I'm like, you can't do that. Let alone how tough it would be to actually do it, period, much less in 2 weeks. But then there's a whole lot of copyright issues involved with that. It just can't be done. And finally, they emailed me today. It's like, okay, the customers agreed to do it, but you really got to oversell this because we got the customer to change. And it's like, you should have given the customer proper expectations. It shouldn't require one of your writers to tell you how impossible it is. If this company was really worth its weight in salt, it should have known that test making and writing a book are two different skill sets. So now with very little sleep, I have to try to write this book in less than 2 weeks, which is going to be a challenge to do. I might ask for an extension, but still, it's like, what does the shelter expect me to do? Just do nothing? They're all talking about, getting off the streets and giving yourself to God so you can have better things in life. Hell, I'd give myself to God if it meant I got a decent night's sleep. So, Felipe here tells me that every shelter is different, so it may just be that this shelter is a bunch of a-holes, when it comes to this issue, and that there might be another shelter that's not like this, but stands to reason that's probably another shelter that's even worse than this, so, yeah, he just says, oh yeah. He tells me about things. I'm trying to encourage him to write a book about it, because he's been to 5 different states, 20 different shelters. He knows the ins and outs of all of them, so he would be the perfect person to write a book about how to be homeless. I'm doing just general tips as I discover them, but it's like I learned most of my stuff from him, so. Anyways, that's going to do it for me today. I just wanted to bitch because I am sleep deprived. I just want a night's rest. One night. If I could get a hotel room and just sleep the entire time, I would be happy. I could be energized. I could, get something done. But that's not going to happen. So anyways, be sure to check out my links on my About page, my GoFundMe, GoFundMe.com/StayOffStreet, still collecting money from that. Check out my Patreon, patreon.com, mad_cat. I get paid monthly on that. Also check out my PayPal, paypal.me/MadCatPrime. If you want to help donate money for me so I can get off the streets and stay off the streets, that's the best way to do it. If you don't want to do any of that, consider buying my book, Character Astrology Profiles. It's mostly to help writers make more complex characters, because there's a lot of writers out there that really need help with that, because they write the most asinine characters possible. But it's also a way to help me out. It's only $2.99, and the more people who buy it, the higher it appears in search results. So, anyways, this is Mad Cat signing off.